Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, the 30th of September, and I have a 4-day weekend, which I'm somewhat thankful for, but somewhat kind of like, oh boy, Monday's going to be really difficult because having to get up and do, having to have a, sorry, my brain is fuddling with my words. Having a 4-day weekend is nice because of the fact that you get to do a lot of stuff, and today I need to clean up the van a little bit to make it more accommodating for Jerry's long trip to Springfield and the possibility of basically all of us going to Springfield. Her day is going to be long because it's going to be literally a 9-hour day. We have to be up and moving by, I think we said 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, which is not too bad for me because I slept in today an extra hour. Actually, I slept in 2 hours. I slept until 7 a.m. Just because I wanted to get as much sleep as possible for tomorrow, basically. But it's an hour and a half drive to Springfield. Then she has to spend a good 4 to 6 hours in the Mercy Hospital in Springfield for the biopsy. What they want her there for is basically to do the biopsy, which is supposedly quick and easy, and then excuse me, and then it's just keeping her there for a couple hours for observation to make sure everything is a-okay, because they're going to put her under. So it's basically to watch her recuperate from just the anesthesia from being under, and make sure there's no complications like, I guess, bleeding or anything of that nature. So, yeah. Mom said she might go with us because she wants to go to, Mom wants to go to Battlefield Mall to get some bourbon chicken and Cinnabon for her. Well, the bourbon chicken for everybody, the Cinnabon mostly for herself. But I know she'll say she'll be willing to share with whomever wants some Cinnabon. I kind of want to go. I kind of want to go. Kind of don't want to go. I want to go because, well, Julie wants to go into Sam's Club. I want to go just to see Sam's Club. I see if there's anything I want, let alone need. Mostly lately, my brain has been on needs, not wants, because Jerry and I sat down and talked last night, and we realized because of the most definite extra expense of the medical procedures, don't know how much of the procedures that the insurance will cover. I'm pretty sure it's a 50-50 type situation. So I was kind of like, we need to stop spending on extras. We need to focus on what we need. If there's any extras, it's going to be for medical, like she may or may not need a wheelchair. I don't know. I don't know what else she may or may not need around the house for her medical situation. But tomorrow, well, put it this way, tomorrow's the biopsy. So hopefully by Saturday night, maybe Monday, she'll get a report on her My Mercy portal, and we can get a little bit more information, which I'm hoping they don't, part of me is hoping they don't give us that information. I'm hoping it goes directly to her doctors here in Rolla. They already said that if she needs to have radiation treatment or anything like that, they have it right here in Rolla. next to the hospital, they have a chemotherapy or radiation treatment type facility that is part of the Mercy system. So, good news is tomorrow is the biopsy. Bad news is the wait period. I'm not a big waiter. I get anxious. Jerry does too, especially in this particular situation, because yeah, it's a notable problem. So yeah, I'm probably going to switch up a lot of my YouTube videos. During the weekdays, unless I think I have time, I may not be doing videos because I will have enough on my plate that YouTube will be one of those do it when I have time situations, which I'm pretty sure most of you will be fully understanding and still be there for some, your words of support and encouragement. I noticed excuse me, I'm sorry, between trying to wake up and trying to keep my emotions in check. I noticed the other day one of you, I can't remember which person, I think it was Celia or something like that. I'm bad with the name, so I'm sorry. Just wrote thank you, and I was like, thanks for what? I don't know. If it's what I think it is, I appreciate it. It's not. I don't want to say it's not necessary, but it's one of those things where it's like, in the upcoming situation with medical procedures and expenses, it's appreciated, but not really necessary. At least, I don't think it is. I think we've got most of our bases covered. But I don't know, with the way things are looking, the bases are looking a little full. I mean, I've got a lot on my plate between work and being here for Jerry and whatnot, and I think that's more important. Yeah. I think being here for Jerry is more important than anything else. That doesn't mean I'm going to quit my job just because of the situation. In fact, if anything, I want to work more. I literally wanted to wake up this morning at my usual time and get dressed and go in and see if they needed anybody for, I don't care, 3, 4, 5 hours just to help prep and whatnot. Even though my venue is closed, there's still two venues open. I was even willing to go in and punch in for a couple hours to help with those venues. But I have a feeling that they probably would have gotten a little, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be off. Your venue is closed for the next 2 days until the weekend. Well, weekend we're always closed. But it was kind of like, to be honest with you, I need as much money as I can possibly earn because of this given situation. I had gotten a call from somebody who was willing to hire me for a secondary job, and I was like, at this point in time, I don't think I can do that because of situations at home. But the offering is still open, and so I'm just kind of like, okay, I appreciate it, but at this point in time, no. Yes, Jerry Ann has already started talking about a bucket list if things are, bad. And I can kind of understand, but the thing is, at the same time, I don't want to do that because that will cause me, especially, to think negatively, and I don't want to do that. I want to think that, after the biopsy, well, put it this way: after the biopsy, I want to take a good hard look and listen to what the doctors have to say about the biopsy and whatnot, and then I'll worry about what the future's gonna, what kind of situations, or what we can do for the future. I know Jerry wants me to retire because of the situation, but at the same time, it's kind of like I was retired for most of the summer, and here I am back at another job because spending habits get out of control, and I don't want that right now because, one, I don't know how close to home we're going to have to stay. If we could go out and RV, or not even RV, just take a week or whatever to go someplace and sleep in the back end of our minivan, or a relatively inexpensive, decent hotel. You know, I can think of several trips that. Sorry, my back itches. I can think of several day trips within, well, take about 12 to 16 hours to get to Ohio, 18 hours to get to Texas, probably about a day and a half to 2 days to get to Arizona, maybe 2 to 3 days to get to Yellowstone. Yeah, I know the time and distance to get to certain places, just because of experience. I know the one time, well, that was cross country. Well, the one time it took me to get from Missouri, when I was living in Missouri, to work a summer before I met Jerry in Yellowstone, that took about 3.5 days. But, Greyhound bus has to stop and change buses and, drop off passengers, along the way, things of that nature. So, but I think for me and Jerry, it would probably take about 2 days, maybe a day and a half, depending on what direction we go, what route we go, things of that nature. But yeah, I would like to get out to Arizona before, God forbid, cancer takes her, or my Aunt Lee passes, so she can meet the rest of my family, the other half of my Henson family. I'd like to be able to arrange some sort of family gathering and have Matt come down from Washington, and don't know where. Well, Luke lives in Prescott near Aunt Lee. Don't know where Mark is. I think Mark disappeared into somewhere in Colorado, and who knows what kind of contact they have with him. But yeah, I mean, I have my own. I have my own bucket list that kind of corresponds with Jerry's bucket list for things to do in the States. I don't know if she'd be able to travel overseas, but I'm pretty sure if we got the chance to travel overseas, and she had an issue, especially in the UK, their healthcare system is phenomenal compared to America. I'm not trying to say that America's healthcare system is bad, but yeah, in my mind, I don't know if it's a statistic. Bleh. I don't know what level America is compared to the world healthcare system, but I know in most countries, even Canada, you got a you got a health situation such as cancer or something like that. They're on that like white on rice because I mean, most countries, and I said this before, most countries, when it comes to taking care of their people, most countries take care of their people before they take care of anything else because, for the most part, if it wasn't for the people, the country would, the country would fall into disarray because there's too many people in health problems. Why do you think most of Europe shut down their borders during the height of the coronavirus? Because they wanted to keep the coronavirus at bay so they can take care of their people and get rid of it as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, between the different variants of corona and all that stuff, it's kind of hard to deal with, even for the countries with really, really good healthcare systems. But, I mean, the people I know from the UK, from YouTube, they told me during the height of the original coronavirus outbreak last year, their countries not only closed down their borders, but they put in strict rules and regulations about leaving your home during coronavirus, staying within your property. I don't know how the businesses dealt with it. I don't know how if the business was closed. But my one friend was telling me that you couldn't even leave your property unless you were going to like medical services or grocery shopping. And even then, it was kind of like you get as much of your groceries as you could to stock up so you wouldn't have to leave your house for a long period of time, which from what I understand is unusual because like what I've learned about Denmark, most Europeans, they go shopping maybe once every other day or so just to pick up things that they know they need. They're not like us here in America where they bulk shop. Oh, wow. I'm hearing sirens like fire or police sirens echoing from a distance, and I'm just like, what the? But okay, I know what it is now. But my focus lately is basically just trying to get through the day without becoming manic or whatever because of the situation. There's not much I can do. I have to just learn to live with it and try to make Jerry's life a little bit more comfortable. Jerry has been getting up and going into the living room, sitting in the living room, using. Sorry, this might be a little too much information, but she has been getting up to use the restroom for number 2. So life is not that hard anymore, but she's finally got to the point because of what the doctor said is basically the doctor said you can get up and move around all you want, just don't get sick. It will push your treatments back. Don't fall and hurt yourself or cause more damage to your knee because that will push things back. And I'm like, okay, all right. Since Julie heard that, and Julie was there for that, Julie's like, okay, let's try to, for change of scenery, let's go sit in the living. Excuse me. Sorry. Basically, let's get up, move out into the living room, sit out in the living room for a while, and then move back to the bedroom later on in the afternoon. So she's been doing that while I'm at work. For the most part, Julie's been cooking. I'm today. I don't know what we're gonna have because we got lots of leftovers and whatnot. I might be making big breakfast here in an hour or so, I want to make sure everybody else is awake before I start making the breakfast I'm thinking about making. Julie did a wonderful job a couple days ago with kielbasa, and I think that was like lunch or something like that one day. She boiled the kielbasa, then she cut it up and fried it. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm not gonna knock it. I thought it was great, but I'm going to try to make breakfast and whatnot. Wow, that must be a major situation if I hear the siren still. You know, somebody probably slid into I don't know. I don't want to think about that. But I will have to give everybody a heads up. And I know this might cause some problems for some people, but because of the current situation, there may be some more or extra videos dealing with Bible verses. I think because of the current situation in my house with Jerry, it's not only warranted, but let's just say it's kind of I feel it's kind of a necessity. Slow down, Jim. Granted, during the weekdays, I don't have a lot of, during the weekdays, I don't take enough time to read because I come home, I decompress, I sit with Jerry for a while, I eat, and then I try to start to relax so I can go to sleep at a decent hour. So most of my time is spent with trying to cope and help Jerry cope. It's not a Jim Jerry thing. It's a Jim. It's no longer a separate, like, I spend most of my time separated from her because I just don't know what to do. It's a it's just an issue that we've never had to deal with. So it's new, it's scary, excuse me. I mean, if Jerry had contracted the same kind of issue that her sisters did, which was thyroid problems, basically, that infected her if it was caught earlier. I really don't know how to explain why it took so long for us to find this issue. But if she had gotten the same kind of thyroid problem or cancer or whatever that her sisters did, it would be a lot simpler, a lot easier, a lot less, I should say, a lot less stressful, a lot less complicated because she can call the sisters. But this is totally different. And I can kind of understand some of the rhyme or reason behind some of the issues. I mean, let's be blunt, and I'm not trying to bash my wife or degrade my wife or anything like that, but let's just be truthful, blunt, however you want to put it. Her being morbid, bleh, I can't even say the word. Her being obese, let's just say that. Her being overweight can cause a lot of issues with knees, ankles, hips, that kind of thing. that I knew was going to happen eventually because, I mean, granted, she's been pretty much an overweight person since childhood. And I think part of that was because her mom had a miscarriage before she was born. And when she was born, it was like, feed this kid, feed this kid, feed this kid, keep this kid, fed and healthy and whatnot. And that led to an eating disorder. But most of her family have been big boned. So no matter what, I mean, even if she didn't have an eating disorder, um, she would have still been a, I don't know if she'd be a plus size person or what, but she wouldn't have as many health issues. That and the factor, like me, when we were younger, we were overactive. We were very active. She was active with softball and sports and the marching band and whatnot throughout school. Me, I was just overactive because I was hyper. I had a hyperactivity and those kind of things that kept me active. So I knew eventually, even before we got married, I knew eventually she was going to have some sort of knee hip issue somewhere down the line. I didn't think anything like this. So it's one of those like, okay, I knew there was going to be physical issues or certain forms of physical disability, not disabilities, limitations. There we go. So I was prepared to deal with certain kind of health issues. This was not something I was prepared for. Obviously, nobody's prepared for cancer. And I don't even know if it's cancer yet because we don't have we have the doctor saying cancer. We have the my portal information saying, what the doctor's saying and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I'm not ruling out the chance because this is the thing. He's saying stage 4 on her kidney. I don't like that because if it all started in the kidney and it metastasized in the kidney, I'm sorry, I can't say that word. Yeah. If it started in the kidney and that's where it spread from, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if it started in the kidney, take the kidney, treat all the other problems. That way it doesn't continue to form more cancer cells or anything like that. Because my wife, when the doctor told her this, she was like, take the kidney, take the leg, get rid of it. I can still survive. I'll learn how to drive with one of those handicap thingies. She's all gung-ho. She's ready to keep her life going, which is great. Because if she becomes down on herself or loses that positive spirit of hers, I don't know what could happen. It could go downhill real quick. Even though a lot of people don't believe that negative or positive energy does affect a person, well, no, it does. But I'm happy that she still has that positive energy, and I'm trying to find a way to keep it going for her and hopefully get it developed in me, because if I'm not positive, yeah, don't know what kind of life we're going to have. But Julie and Jerry were talking about, Julie will stay here. She's got to go back to Vegas towards the end of the month because she has a pre-arranged, reservation for a wedding out in Vegas. I guess a friend or somebody like that. But she's going to come back after that and stay here until next July, or however long necessary. which I'm kind of like, well, for Jerry's sake, yes, okay, sure, I understand, but for me, I'm not sure yet. I'm still kind of getting used to Julie being here. It's not like I don't want it. It's just like, okay, I just have to get used to changes, and I'm not. I used to be able to change with the flow of things, but that was when my dad was still alive, and he was in the military, and we were always moving every 3 years. But after he retired, it was kind of like, oh, I have to get used to this new life of not. It's taken me years to get used to the. Oh, okay, 3 years of coming, we're gonna move someplace new. No, no, can't afford that. Not a good thing. It's one of the biggest reasons why I haven't established a lifelong career where I'm building up retirement funds and all that stuff. That and the factor being the person I am with my issues and whatnot, it's been hard for me to deal with. But now that I'm working where I'm working now, I think it's kind of like, click, you're in your right place. Everything is great. Only thing I have to worry about is those extended vacations like winter break and summer break. Like, okay, I can either A, do what everybody else does and apply for temporary unemployment due to the way things work, or I can just find myself a temporary winter job because a lot of places are hiring temporary people for the Christmas holiday. So it's like, ooh, yeah, I can do that. That way I'm not collecting unemployment because I don't like that. And then when summer comes, I can get a summer job to work until school starts back up. So, I just got a message from my sister-in-law, Janie. Um, so it's one of those, like, I have to plan for the future for both of us, and I have to consider options for, like I said, winter and summer breaks, the big long breaks. Now, come springtime, it's only a week. I might be able to survive without employment for that time. I don't know. It depends on a lot. But let's just say that right now it looks like any trips for Christmas or any trips for, well, we don't usually take trips for Christmas, but any summer trips are probably going to be kiboshed because don't know what's going to happen with Jerry. But I'm not going to say that we won't attempt to do a trip to Ohio or a trip to Texas. It depends on Jerry's health, what the doctors say. Worst case scenario is instead of us going to them, they might come to us. Don't know. Oh no. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. I love my Aunt Sue. I I do have my issues with her because it seems like every time we go to visit her, I've got a list of things that she wants me to do, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I came up here for relaxational time, not work. I do that enough as it is. But she usually comes up here for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And if Julie's here, Aunt Sue might not be able to come up here because we won't have a room for her to stay in. So, she might have to come up for the day and not sleep here, or we might have to plan something out because, yeah. But anyhow, life still goes on. It might be a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult than usual. It might, yeah, it might be, rough patches here and there, but that's life. I mean, just for a funny story here, Tuesday, I was under the impression that I had to run up to the Mercy clinic here in town to pick up a DVD or a CD-ROM or something like that with medical imagery or medical files for Jerry to take with her to Springfield. And I had left work a little bit quicker than normal because I just wanted to get stuff done. And one of the things that I forgot to do was leave the key that we use for my venue in my pocket, in my apron. And I took off for the Mercy Hospital, which everything here in Raleigh is 5 minutes. So I get to the Mercy Clinic and I get a text message from my coworker saying, "Hey, you got the key? You need to bring it back." And I'm like, "Oh man, the key." So I was like, "Okay, yeah, I do have the key. I will bring it back in a minute." So the other thing I didn't see was a text message from Jerry saying, "Hey, you don't need to go to Mercy. They've already got it up in Springfield." Well, nevertheless, because I didn't see that message, I went inside and I was talking to the lady who was supposed to give me the disc, and they're like, "Oh, we don't do that anymore, but it should already be in Springfield, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, okay, I hope so, because I don't want problems because we don't have those files. So I get back in my car and I look at my phone and there's that message from Jerry going, "Hey, you don't need to go up there." So I called her up and said, "Hey, I'm going to be a little late. I have to run back to work because I forgot to drop the key off." And she was like, "No worries." And I said, "Hey, do I also have to go to Springfield, or not Springfield, CVS, to pick up any prescriptions because I'm waiting for one?" She goes, "No, according to CVS, it's still in processing. I guess we're waiting for the insurance to approve the copay or whatever." So I was like, "Okay, I'm just going to drop this off at work and I'll be home in a little bit." So I ran back to work and I went inside. Hey, I'm like, "Sorry, I was in a rush to go up to the Mercy place to get some documents, which I didn't have to pick up." But it was kind of funny because usually I don't have the key. Usually I give it to my coworker and they put it in the lockbox. But it was just kind of funny because I was like, "Oh man, where's my head lately?" And then yesterday morning I got up at my normal time and left the house at my normal time and got to work. But I got to work a little later than normal because car in front of me, which I could not pass because of the double lines, was going slower than the speed limit by about 5 to 10 miles. And I was just kind of like, "Oh my goodness, oh God." And I wanted to get to work and get the day over with because it was my Friday. So, nevertheless, I got to work and I realized, okay, I have my hat, I have all my paraphernalia except for my cutting safety glove and glasses and basically all the stuff that I keep in my apron because, well, I'm used to putting my apron on before getting to work and having it around my waist. So nevertheless, my apron with all my stuff that I'm supposed to have for work, it's not the only thing that was in the apron that was a necessity was the safety glove. So I got in and I looked at my watch and then I was like, "Oh man, I don't have enough time to run back out to the car because I can't park as close as I used to, because if I do, I'll get a ticket for, not having a special tag for parking." And when I had paid the ticket, they said, "Well, we can give you a parking, we can give you for $150 a year. We can give you a little tag for parking, but the closest one is, 2 blocks away." And I'm like, run across the street, across a state highway, or walk 2 blocks. And just walking across the street kind of gives me a bit of a breathing issue. So I was like, 8 minutes well, not 8 minutes, but 6 minutes to walk across the street and walk into work, or 15 minutes to walk 2 blocks. Nah, I'll take my chances. The thing is, they're putting a roundabout in that area, so, and they said the roundabout will be completed about 2025. And I'm like, well, I'll take my chances until 2025, because who knows what 2025 is going to look like. So, yeah. It's either park in the parking lot or the visitors park and have to run outside every 2 hours to put money in the meter so I don't get a ticket for, parking with no time on my on a meter. It's amazing how certain systems work so they can get extra money from, people who don't pay attention or don't know. Yeah. So, Anyhow, ooh, 8:30. So in the future, don't be surprised if there's either a very long Sunday Bible session or multiple Bible sessions throughout the week. If I do like record 3 or 4 different Bible sessions and slip them in the middle of the week. That in fact, don't be surprised if you don't see a video every day. You might see a video every other day unless I do a bunch of recordings during the weekend and schedule them for days during the week while I'll be either unable or forgetful of doing videos because my mind is on other things. But I'll try to read some of this later on today. I will finish American Cozy before I move on to multiple Bible sessions or a different book. Which book, I don't know right now. Because my brain is not here for reading. My brain is actually all over the place. Between future concerns and concerns of today, I struggle to remind myself, worry about today, tomorrow will have its own troubles, which is actually, I think I read that in the Bible one time. But it's one of those things where I am pretty sure if it is malignant instead of benign, and it's outright cancer, Jerry will start looking into like the American Cancer Society and various other things to help pay for the bill. I'm kind of leery about tomorrow, not just because of the factor of her treatment, but she's already been like telling me, hey, you've been doing a great job taking care of me. You're working hard, the whole 9 yards. Go out and get yourself something every so often. And she doesn't specify. She just says, go get something. And my brain goes, okay, that's nice. It's appreciated, but the money that we have should be spent on bills before we go buying unnecessary stuff. So for me, most of the stuff that I've been buying has been necessary, like food, drinks, stuff that is needed. And when I mean drinks, I mean like at work, my job allows me to have free meals, but if you get anything beyond a fountain soda or water, like a bottle of soda or tea or whatever, it costs. Only $1.99, but still it costs money. And I'm like, well, let's see here. Do I want to buy a Mountain Dew or do I want to get a fountain drink? And being that most of the fountain drinks are non-Pepsi items, it's items that they don't carry in bottles, basically. So it's like, okay, The fountain has Mellow Yellow, which is the equivalency of Mountain Dew, but after seeing my results from my blood draw on Monday, I'm like, ooh, yeah, I think I need to stop drinking soda and go back to coffee, tea, and water, juice. But even juice has a lot of sugar, so it's kind of like, I don't know. So I've been trying to drink water and whatnot since Tuesday. Because they have water on tap, cold water, from the soda machine. So that in a factor with the weather, the way the weather's been around here has been like really odd. Monday was cool. Tuesday, Wednesday, it was like 90, pretty close to 90, high 80s basically. And I'm like, ew. But then I'm thinking to myself, ooh, we got a storm front coming in, but it's from the south. It's supposed to be fall, people. It's supposed to be in the mid to upper 70s. What's going on with this craziness? So, anyhow. Ooh, almost 50 minutes. I'm going to get off this because, I know I'm like unloading several days worth of information plus my emotions and feelings and all that. And I lose track of time because I just trying to get it out of my system so I can move forward without being weighed down by all these weird thoughts and concerns and whatnot. So I'm pretty sure certain people will have loads of fun with this long video, but you know what? Whatever. I got too many. What would my dad would say? I have too many fish to fry and way more mouths to feed. So, yeah, that's his way of saying, hey, people want to talk about me, let them talk. It's either going to make me more famous or it's going to just make me go, your opinion, not mine. So, hey, let them talk. They only have a small window, not enough truth or not enough information to really do any harm. But anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put it in the question comment box. And if you're new to my channel and choose to join out of whatever interest you have, go ahead. You hit the subscribe button, and once you do that, a little bell will pop up. Click on that bell, and YouTube will let you know when I put in my next video, whenever that will be. So until next time, you guys have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.